buzz about this case, such case. Nobody knows in my country, as I was saying before.
Yeah, you're exactly right. So this past week started the second half of Julian Assange's substantive extradition hearings. He is facing extradition to the United States. He is wanted in the United States for exposing U.S. war crimes, U.S. torture programs, and this is a really serious case because it doesn't only impact journalists and activists, but it also impacts the public's right to know. So this case is really an important case that people really stand behind Assange and bring more awareness to their friends, their family, and that they seek good information on this case, because in the mainstream press, if they do cover this case, unfortunately, a lot of the information is just not truthful. So do seek out independent media platforms to get your news on this case.
The other day, in example, I've seen a lot of media, a lot of cameras, a lot of journalists supposing they were from the mainstream media, but to be honest, I haven't seen big coverage as I was expecting after seeing so big crowd of media around the court.
Right, well, there's been a problem with media access, so only 10 journalists were allowed to get physical access into the courtroom. The other journalists had to view the trial on the video link, and there of course was some technical issues with that video link. We couldn't always hear what was taking place in court. Sometimes it would cut people out. And then also members of NGOs and professional organizations who have called to free Assange, who are seeking to cover this hearing and also monitor the hearing. They were given access originally via video link, and then on Monday morning when they went to go cover the hearing, their access was denied, and the judge, Vanessa Baracer, said that they were granted access on accident. So the 40-some individuals' access to cover this case was actually revoked on Monday. Only one individual from one of these organizations was eventually granted access again. So they really do not want people talking about this case in the media, and when I say they, I'm referring to Assange's persecutors and prosecutors, which is the U.S. government.
Some of those that has been excluded from the court, the journalists are representative from Reporter Without Borders, and I heard that even not just the first day, but even the next days they're banned from the entrance. With an excuse, I can say that there are places reserved for VIP. But I haven't understood, to be honest, what they're talking about when they're talking about VIP place reserved inside the court and not giving access to technology and the situation like Reporter Without Borders. This is really a big problem.
Right, it's unclear who the VIPs are, but what I can say, of course, is that it's been really difficult to access this case and cover the hearing, but fortunately there are members in independent media and alternative media who are doing a good job. But just to talk a little bit about what happened this past week during the hearing, we heard about the political nature of this case, and in fact Assange cannot be extradited from the UK to the US for political reason, and so the defense was arguing that this is a political case because Assange has established himself as an individual who holds very strong political viewpoints, anti-war viewpoints, and a little bit of libertarianism as well, that really goes against what the U.S. holds true to some of their most strongly held values, I guess. The U.S. is a country that engages in imperialism all around the world, and WikiLeaks is all about transparency and accountability, so therefore Assange and WikiLeaks can be viewed as an opponent to the U.S. government, thus making this case a political case. Another point was brought up is how this case really violates First Amendment protections to a free press, and that Assange, as a journalist who engaged in journalistic activity, should have First Amendment protections. And he's being tried under the U.S. Espionage Act of 1917. This is the first time the U.S. Espionage Act has ever been used against a publisher and a journalist, and he faces 175 years in prison if extradited and convicted.
And this law is coming from the Second World War.
Yes.
Spying action on Russia and America and things like that. So if it's not political things, I really don't know what it is.
Right. It's a very antiquated piece of legislation that was put into effect during World War I in the United States. So it's very frightening that it's being used against a journalist and a publisher, and that's why we are here today to speak out in support of Assange and also for the larger issue of free speech and free press.
Thank you very much to you.
Yeah.